thanks for watching another one of my videos. I've just got a quick one for you today. I'm going to be using Copic Markers on Xpress It Blending card. I am doing a colouring page from Jasmine Becket-Griffith's book, A Fantasy Art Adventure, and I am doing the golden butterfly today for you. So hopefully you enjoy the session today, and I look forward to seeing some of your beautiful work, and hopefully you've subscribed. If you have, thank you so much for that, and thank you for your support and for following along. So I will get started on the golden butterfly. So we've got some beautiful colours today. I did use some Stabilo chalk pencils for the face, so I'll just go through the numbers with those. And I also missed a little bit of video of the red part of the hair, but it is exactly the same as the brown part. I'll just give you the colours in the description there. So I'm starting off using my first skin colour, which is E04, and I'm just going around all of the shadow areas. Now this face is a little bit shaped, a little bit different to previous ones that she's done. I think because she is supposed to be a butterfly. So her nose and things like that, it took me a little while to sort of figure out how they should be and how they should look. So that can happen when you're doing colorings. You can look at a face and think it doesn't look quite right or different to what I'm used to. So then you've just got to figure out where you think that the shadow areas should go and what the shapes of the face should be. So here I'm just going around all of those shadow areas and drawing in parts of the definition and things like that of the face as well. So next I'm coming in with E11 and I'm just blending that darker colour out. So I'm also creating the lines a little bit further out than they were with the darker colour, so just making them longer and wider, and just spreading this colour out towards where the highlight areas of the face will be. So now I've done that colour, I'm coming in with E21 and I'm just doing the same thing but just bringing it a little bit further out. So creating the shadow, trying to decide now what shape the nose is going to be and how I'm going to colour around the eyes and the eyebrows and things like that. So just extending the previous colour out further, and here I might put extra details in that I'd want to lay out in the second layer as well. So I'm just doing that now. So I'm bringing in my next lightest colour, which is E00, And I'm just bringing those shadows out a little bit further into the face now. So most of the face will be covered over with this colour, but I will just leave little highlight sections on the cheeks and on the forehead, on the nose, and on the chin. So just bringing this out a little bit further. After doing the shape of the nose here, I'm not quite sure if it looks right. It looks a little bit like triangular at the top, so I do come in and fill in a little bit extra on the next round of colour. So now I'm going to go over the highlight areas with E000 and just fill those in, those areas in. So this is where I think that the nose could be a little bit not as broad at the top there, so I'll come back in on the next layer and I'll bring that in a little bit. I'll also put perhaps a shadow line on the top of the nose or something as well there, just to give it a little bit more shape so it doesn't look out of place, and get that all in nice and blended. I'm coming back in with E04 and I'm just lining those shadow areas again, just darkening them up and deepening the contours of the face. So I'm just going to do that one now. I'm bringing in the next lightest colour now, which is E11, and I'm just going over the top of those dark areas again. And again, just doing the same as on the first layer, we are just adding definition and depth into the face now. So I've just made that nose a little bit skinnier as I've gone up there on that side. So I've marked out a little bit further into the highlight area now where I want it to be a little bit darker on the face to get the shape that I want. So that's, I'm still using the E11 and I'm just spreading that out further now. Just come back in with some E00 to have a play with some of those shadows on the nose to see what kind of look that I want to get now. And then I'll come back in with the darker colour again in a moment. I'm smoothing that out with E000. I've got some E00 again because I still wasn't happy with the shape of that nose. I quite often will do this. I'll sit and play with the lighter colours for a little bit till I get the shape and the look that I'm looking for. So if you're wanting to do that, do use the lighter colours, so E00 and E000 to mark areas out. Because then you've got more chance of being able to blend what you don't like out than if you're doing it with the darker colours straight away. So I've got some E21 here, and I'm just having a look to see what it'd be like to put a bit of shadow in the nose here. So I just marked out a couple of areas. Even if I don't end up going with that, it's still going to put a little bit of shape into the nose anyway, because it'll be underneath the lighter colours. So I'm still not sure. I'm kind of flipping from from marker to marker here. This is E00 again, and I'm just blending that out. I didn't really like the nose, so I have blended it out so it's almost gone. And I've made sure that the middle part of what I just drew is the lightest colour too, because that'll be the top of the nose, that's going to be the lightest. The other parts there would be darker around that. So yeah, I've just used a U shape to do that. I'm just coming in now, I've got the E000, just blending that out now. So I'm going to put some pink in around her eyes here and in the little corner parts of the eye, and a little bit of blush and eyeshadow there as well. I'm going to come back in with a yellow to do the outside of the top of the lid now as well. So just bringing in some of the colour from her wings and things like that into around her eyes. And I've picked up the Y35 to do that now. And I've come back in with E000 just to go over the top of those areas and blend it out nicely. Usually when I do put colours in the face, I'll go over with the E000 just to blend it in nice and smooth. So I've got a Stabilo chalk pencil there, that was number 645, and I'm just going around some of the areas on the sides of the face there in the shadow areas, and I'm smudging it out with my finger, so just lining it in, smudging it out. Now I've just done some of the shadow areas of the eye just to bring them out, deepen them, take them back a little bit further. And then I'm going to bring another colour over the top. So it's like a cream colour. And it's number 105. And I'm just blending some of this over the cheeks to lighten them up a little bit. And just on the nose there. So I'll just use this pencil in here just to highlight some of the areas I wanted a little bit lighter. So I've got another colour there, which is like a really light peach colour. It is number 681, and I'm just bringing this in. I guess it's kind of putting some nice tones through the skin. I wanted to give it a try. I think that the chalk pencils do give it a little bit more depth and make the face really nice and smooth, and it's got nice color variations through it and things like that. So that's why I've chosen to do it today. So just using that light peach color, and it was number 681. I'm also going to use this to bring in some color into her cheeks as well. So I'll let you know what number that is when I come up to that as well. So I've got the pink color. It's a deep pink. It's number 311, and I'm just putting it on the sides of the cheeks and spreading that out a little bit further with my finger there, just to put a little bit of color on the sides of the cheeks as blush. I'm just blending it out there with that peach color, which was the 681. So I'm just alternating those two colours now, just to get some depth into the sides of the cheeks there. Then I'm going to use my electric eraser, and I am just going to erase around the hair area just to get some of that chalk off, because I've smudged it in over the top of there a bit. And also too, there's a little bit above the eyebrow there that I'll have to fill out with some skin colours as well, which is a part of her wing on the side there, so I'll just fix that up and put some skin colours in there. So unfortunately, I lost the video between the finishing off the skin and the hair here. The app on my phone that I record on, if I get a text message or something like that, it actually pauses the recording and I don't realize it. So I missed a little bit of hair there, but I did just have the colors popped up there on the screen a second ago, and I will put them in the description of the video as well. So I'm coming in now and I'm lining all of the shadow areas with E79, and I'm just extending the lines that are from the bottom and the top out through the hair, and I'm leaving a bit of a gap in the middle, so I don't want to go into the middle of the hair because that'll be the highlight. But I'm just doing small thin lines out from the top of the hair and bringing them down. I'm curving the ones on the side to go with the hair, and then I'm going to do the same on the bottom part of the hair there. I'll bring them back up the other way, and I'll leave that gap in the middle. So I'm going to blend this out with the next lightest colour, and as I blend it out, I'll get further and further towards that middle area of the hair. So I'll keep bringing those points in towards each other so that they look like they're about to meet in the middle. So on these side parts here, I will go around the little buns on top of the hair there and just do a line around, and then I'll come out from there and do my small strokes. And then, so those little lines there will just come up from the bottom where the wing has finished on the hair there, and then coming from the top where the bun is sitting on the hair. And I'll do the same on the opposite side as well, so going up to the middle of the head and coming back from the middle of the head. So I'm going to bring in the next colour, and I'm using E77, and I'm just going over the top of the previous lines, and I'm just bringing them further out towards the middle part again. So sometimes I'm not even on top of the other lines that I've done. I'm just doing new ones in there, filling the gaps in a little bit. I will leave a little bit of white in between some of them, but yeah, mainly bringing out the previous colour and creating new lines as well. So just thickening the hair up and giving it more texture. Each stroke that you do is like a hair strand. So the more that you do, the more, I guess, hair there is there, and the more texture there will be in the hair. So you can really start to see that shine on the hair now. So I'm bringing in E74, and I'm just doing exactly the same thing. So I'm going a little bit further, making them a little bit longer, but just going over the other lines and blending them out. Now I've got E70, And I'm doing exactly the same thing. So this can come over the highlight areas a bit. It'll still give it that shine because it is a light colour. But I'm just blending little strokes as we've done before, little lines all the way out, back in, and meeting them in the middle. Still have that highlight part in the middle to show that the hair's shiny. Once I've gone over with this colour, I'm going to come back in with the dark colours, so E79 and E77 again, and just make sure that those shadows in the hair are nice and deep, so you can see the difference between you know, the hair that's sitting on top and the hair that's sitting below. So I'm going to do that with just the darker two colours. So that's the E79 I've got here again, and I'm just deepening up all those shadow areas and the darker lines throughout the hair. And then I've got the E77, and I'm just bringing that out as well. So just lightening up the darker colour so that it blend in nicely together. And then I will be finished the hair. You can always go back over with all of the colours and re-deepen it up if you like. The more times that you do it, the more texture it will have. Also, though, just be careful because you can end up bleeding all the colours in together if you're doing it too much as well. So just try and keep those small lines nice and thin, and it gives you, make sure you've got that texture in there to make it look still like individual strands. Okay, so hair's done. We're going to start on the eyes. I'm doing something a little bit different. So hopefully you're happy with how it looks. If not, you can obviously do the eye any way that you would like to do it. I'm just going around the bottom of the iris with B99 and putting a little bit of darkness or shadow around that part of the iris. And I'm just doing a couple of little tiny spots or notches out from that just to give blend some of that colour into the rest of the eye, which I'm going to bring in. So our eyes are going to be like a pale blue with some orange through the middle part of them as well. So a little bit of a mixture there. So I'm just doing the other eye now too. Got some EO2, and I'm just putting this around the eyelash there, that where it connects with the eye, the ball of the eye or the white part of the eye there. So I'm just putting that in there. So this particular image doesn't have the extra little fleshy bit that usually does sit under the eye. It's not showing in this one, so I'm just sort of putting a little bit in there just to show some shadow as well. So I've got some YRO2, and I'm just popping the little bits of that in the corners of the eye as well. I'm going to put a little bit of this into the iris as well, but I'm just going to do like little dots. I'm only dabbing it on in little parts randomly around the eye there. Because we're going to bring some orange in, this will help to have more of a transition between the two colours. So I'm bringing EO2 in again and just going over the top of that to blend it out a little bit. And I'm going to put some little lines out from the middle there as well. So we're really just creating some speckled sort of looks through the eye. I'm putting a little bit of that EO4 around the blue there to spread it out a little bit, so it's looking more like a shadow. Now I've got some B93, and I'm just grabbing those lines that I did before and pulling them out a little bit, and I'm putting some further in, so they're just sort of nicely spread out, but all around the bottom of the eye there. Just a few of them. I've only done a couple on the top because we're going to put some orange in there anyway. And I've also put a couple in the middle of the eye, in the middle of the section that I'm working with there too, just to show a little bit of colour through the middle there. Most of that part's going to be grey or clear or white, I should say, so you won't be able to see a lot of that, but it's just giving it some texture. Just done the same on the other eye there. So I've got B91, and I'm just extending those little lines that I did a little bit further out towards the middle. And I've added a couple more in there as well. And I'm just going to sort of try and bleed out that bottom blue a little bit too, so that it's looking more rounded. Do the same on the other side. I really am using the very, very tip of the marker to create these lines, so you've got to be quite gentle with the marker and just light on the pressure, and just using the very, very tip of it to create that tiny little line. Just smudging some of that bottom part in a little bit. So I've got some E15. Now I'm not worried about going into the middle of the pupil there because it's going to be black anyway, but I'm just lining around the pupil there with this, and I'm actually going to do some little flicks out from the pupil towards the outside of the eye there. So this is creating the brown now or the orange on the inside. So just do a few more. So these I've got a few more of because this will be the main color in the middle. So using the very edge or the very tip of the marker there, you can see that I'm just lightly flicking the marker outwards to get those little lines. I'm going to blend those out with E99, which is like a orangey brown color. Some of them I'll do a little bit longer, some of them I'll do really short. So both eyes aren't going to be exactly the same, so they will be slightly different, and yours will be different to mine. Just adding in a couple of flicks, longer flicks there as well. So I'm going over that with EO2, and I'm just dotting that out. So I'm not, just, I guess, gently layering over some colour in there to spread that darker ink out a little bit. And just spread it a little bit further out as well. A couple of those I've just spread out further to the edge of the eye as well. Just got a little bit of C3, and I'm just doing this shadow on the white part of the eye there. So the eyelid would be overlaying that a little bit, so I'll pop that over there, and I'm just putting a little bit on the bottom as well to show the shadow area. I was trying to get it to look more rounded so it doesn't just look flat. Putting a little bit of this through the middle there, more into the middle part of the eye there. And I dabbed it around the darker orangey parts as well to deepen that up. I'm using B000, and I'm just filling up the entire middle part now, just dotting it in. So some areas there are still white. I've got C1. Just blending out that edge of the eye a little bit more there, a bit more depth in. Now I've got clear, and I'm just spreading that out, so blending that in so it comes into the white nicely. Nice transition between the colours now. I've got the clear blender there, and I'm just putting a little bit into the eye there because it'll just create a little bit more white space between there. So they don't look even or smooth, they're quite rough in there, but they look quite effective. bringing in some black, and I'm just going to fill out the pupil and also do the eyelashes. So that's the black parts done. I am going to fill out some white gel pen, put some spots onto the eyes for reflection marks um, and things like that. So I'll do that. I'm just wiping off my gel pen there. It is a little bit cloggy. So I'll just come in, I'll put some dots on the pupil just to show reflections of light. And I'm also going to just wiggle a little bit of this through the white part of in between the two colours that I've done there as well. So I'll do that now. So I'm just starting on the wings now. So I'm going to bring in some E15 and I'm going to do some of this on the edge of all of the, all the edge pieces of these coloured areas. So these parts here I'll make darker across the bottom and into the edges of the wing. So I'm just doing those now. So I'll just line all that out. Now I'm going to put some orange into it. So I'm using YR07. This is what I used in the hair as well. So I'm just bringing this out a little bit further over the top of the previous colour and blending it out further towards the top part of the coloured area there. I'm going to blend this out now with a lighter orange colour. So I'm going to use YR04 over the top of this colour, and I'm just going to come a little bit further over that towards the wider part again. So we're doing a gradual colour change from the dark orange to bright yellow. I just missed a part of the wing there. I'll come back in with the YR07 and just fill that out and then come back over that. So I've got YR04. Now I'm going to blend this out further, and I'm going to try and transition now into the yellow colours. So I'm going to bring a dark yellow over the top of all of that. So we'll start with Y38, and I'm just going to spread this from the dark area out towards the light area again. So we're starting to transition into the yellow now. Now I'm going to bring in Y15 and I'm just going to go over the top of that and blend it further out. So I'm going to come out lighter again with Y04. And then once I've done this, I'm going to go over with the final colour, which is Y02. And then I'm going to do a second layer. So I'm going to bring the second layer in just to deepen it up a little bit more. And it helps to brighten up the lighter colours as well. And that's Y02. I'm just going over all of the remaining white. So now I'm just going to go over those colours with the same blend again. Just going to darken them up. So just starting with the E15, and I will move all the way to the Y02 again. So now I'm going to start on the little butterflies and the wings up the top there as well. So I'm going to do YR04 here in the deeper areas. I'm going to put a little bit of YR07 underneath the wing parts there where the wing's sitting over the top of the other wing. The rest of it will be with the YR04. Now I'm bringing that out further with Y17, so over the top of the previous colour and just bringing it down further towards the white. Transitioning down further now to Y15. Now I've gone down to Y13. I've just left some of the tips of those coloured parts there because I'm going to bring Y11 in there to finish them all off. I'm going to repeat this up the top on the top coloured parts as well, so just following on with the same blend that I've just done. So I've just brought the Y11 up to the top ones and I'm just filling those out entirely because they're going to be covered over anyway. I've decided to skip out the YR04 and just start with the yellow colours. So I'll bring in first of all Y17 and I'll go out from there. And now I've got Y15. I'll just go a little bit further. Then I'm going to blend that out with Y13 and then just go over it all again with the Y11. So I've left the top ones just yellow. I haven't added any of the orange into those ones. Just going to move on to the lips now. I'm using YR07. I'm just going to do the edges of the bottom lip and underneath where the top lip sits over it. I've done the top lip with the side edges and also a little bit in the middle. I am going to blend that out with YR04, just a little bit further, closer into the more towards the white areas there. So I'm leaving a little bit of a gap to put the last highlight colour, and I'm also going to put some white gel pen on this just to help it stand out a little bit. So I'm bringing in now the lightest colour, which is Y38, and I'm just going over the entire lips with that one. Just lightening up those eyes. I will do this a little bit because the black underneath is coming through a little bit. I'll just touch these up a few times while I'm doing all the finishing touches just to make sure they are fairly white. Just putting some white shine on the lips now. Just noticed that there's a part of the shoulder that I didn't actually do, so I'm just filling that out with the skin colors. So I'm starting with E04 and then I'm blending that out with E11, then E21, and then E00 and E000. I will go over it twice just to make sure that blends nice and smooth as well. So I'm just going to do that, go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I'm going to line all of the butterfly wings with black. Now, I did realize after I'd done this that I probably should have done the background first because some of the black did smudge in a little bit as I went over it. So you're welcome to go ahead and do the background because there's only a small amount of that. I did use B00 for the background. Otherwise, you can just follow ahead like I have. Just be careful when you do go around the wings when you're doing the background because the black can smudge out. So I'm just going around all of the coloured areas and I'm going to leave all of the white spots, or as many of them as I can, empty, and I'm going to go back over them with some white Posca pen or white gel pen after I've done this. So yay, we've done all the lining. So here we go with the B00. As you can see there, just I smudged it a little bit, but you can't really tell. I'm just going over the top of all of the white that's left and just filling it out with this B00. And my pen marker did run out here, so I had to refill it in between. So there is a little stop gap there where I filled it up and I come in from the other side. So just go over it as many times as you need to get it nice and smooth. You can use the chiseled end if you like on the first round and then come back over it with the brush tip. I've just kept going over it until it was filled out. So I'll just finish that off now. So that's all our colour done on the picture. You could always come over and darken up any areas that you feel you need to darken up. I did do the eyebrows too when I missed that red part of the hair. I did it the same colour as the red hair there. But I'm just popping in over the top of the eyes again now just to brighten them up a bit, and I'm going to use my white Posca pen and my gel pen and just go over and put in these little dots around the wings. I'm also going to put some highlight shine on the wings, each of the little individual coloured spots as well. So I'll go ahead and fill all this out and then we'll be completed. So hopefully you did enjoy the session today. If you would like to get any information from me or ask questions, please do join our Facebook group. I don't post a lot. I really am just posting stuff that I find along the way, and any questions that you do have I'll try to answer as soon as I can. Just keeping in mind that I am in Australia and time zones are completely different to all over parts of the world, so sometimes if it takes me a while to answer, it is because it's most likely I'm in bed. But I would endeavour to try and get to your questions as soon as I can. Also, if you do have any requests, please don't hesitate to ask. Come along to the group and ask there, or ask in the comments here today. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm just going to finish off these highlights now, and I'll come back at the end with the finished product. So that's our golden butterfly finished. Thank you so much for your support again, and if you would like to receive messages when I do upload new videos, please do subscribe today, and thanks again. Bye!